Hey people, Fernando doing another video for the channel, and in this case talking about the Russian missiles hitting Poland, killing 2 people. Stay for this video. You'll see how you're being lied, not only by Russia, which we expect nothing less from them. You're being lied by the West as well. They both have a same common interest. But at the end of the day, it is the media still lying to you. And it's important now more than ever to learn to tell when that's happening. Before I go on with the video, a couple of things. First of all, I uploaded accidentally a little bit of a Spanish video on this same topic. I have a Spanish channel with over 220,000 subscribers. So I do both things, and I accidentally uploaded a part of a video that was for the Spanish channel. Before I go on, also, you have my books in the links below in the descriptions. You have the links to Bugging Out and Relocating, Street Survival Skills, and Surviving the Economic Collapse. You probably want to get all of these, given everything going on. It's very much linked to the current unfolding events. And you have to prepare on all of those fronts, because you just never know what's going to be affecting your life the most. It's a very dynamic, changing situation in which we all are right now. So let's get to this right now. So as we know, there's been an attack in Ukraine, and Poland got hit as well. Okay.
No appetite so far for this war in
so
Ukraine.
we know that in a small community close to the border,
to a senior US
Russian
official,
missiles
two
hit
Russian
a town
missiles have
in
hit
Poland.
a grain dryer, a farm on the Polish side of the Polish-Ukrainian border, killing 2 people. Again, there's still a lot of details coming through at this stage.
Okay, so this happens the same time, the same night that this happens right across the border.
Russian airstrikes across Ukrainian cities, including the capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian officials say at least 85 missiles have targeted the country's energy infrastructure. Ukraine is reporting widespread power outages now. This Russian barrage of airstrikes started, of course, after Ukraine took back the city of Kherson last week.
So it's been a nationwide bombing of Ukraine. They bombed literally every significant town or city that they have across the entire country. So as this happens, a couple missiles also hit a little town close to the border in Poland. Who would you immediately assumed launched those missiles? Well, of course, it had to be a black flag operation by Ukraine, right? Well, it's kind of the thing that you would get from Russia propaganda, or not even that. We'll see what Russians themselves say. Okay, they're not even saying that. That comes from the more fringe, insane part of the narrative. Yes, it's Ukrainians trying to start a world war. No, it's not worth even contemplating. But keep this in mind. At the same time that Russia launches all-out bombing of the entire country with 85 missiles hitting pretty much any significant city, a small town close to Poland gets hit as well. All right. Now, how is it that you react to this? Well, the first thing you say is it wasn't Russia. The BBC says it wasn't Russia. CNN says no, it wasn't Russia. They woke up Joe Biden. Where am I? Sir, you have to say that we don't think, that we've been tracking and we don't think it's Russia. No, Russia didn't do this. Okay, so we all know that they're lying all the time. So why is it that they're lying? Well, let's just check it out. Polish president, unlikely missile was intentional attack on the country. Okay, so there's something to that. You can pretty much, I think this will be verified soon enough. I mean, this is all very recent, but it will be verified that the missile was Russian in origin. Now, who exactly launched it? Well, I would assume, and probably this makes a lot of sense, the same guy that was launching missiles that same night and sent 85 missiles all over the country, that would be my most significant bet at this time, that one of those missiles simply hit. They're trying to say that it was an anti-missile battery using Soviet missiles from Ukrainians trying to shoot down these missiles as they came, and one of these hit Poland. That is far-fetched, to say the least. We'll see what we see. I wouldn't even believe it if they say it. I think that what they're trying to do is covering their asses, because they don't want to start World War III by having Article 4 trigger from NATO saying, well, attack on one is an attack on all. We've just been attacked. by Russia, we need to blow the crap out of these bastards, which, would probably be one of the ways of ending this war right away. But we all know that the more you can extend this, the more money is to be made. And Russia is cornered as of right now. They have not much else to do rather than do what they're doing now, which is launching terror attacks on the population, because they cannot actually win in the battlefield. They're having their line pulled back day by day. Every once in a while, especially after a big loss like Kherson, they do this thing of retaliation against civilian population. We're blowing up the electric grid. Now you're blowing up people in their homes and in towns. If you want to fight against the actual soldiers in the front. Don't blow up people in their homes while they sleep. But you don't expect much from Russians at this point. We all know what they are. So one of the things that has to be said is, most likely, yes, 90% chance this was a Russian miscalculation very close to the border. One of these very inaccurate missiles. They ran out of accurate material already. Their accurate missiles were depleted a while back, and everything they have now is just saturation of bombs, because they don't have that capability, at least not much left of it. So that is most likely the case. It also has to be said that what is it that Russians are, because I just showed what is being said from the West. The West says no sign of. So you see, this is what I want you guys to start doing. Learn to read between the lines. Know where news is coming from. This is from the BBC. This is CNN, which is official U.S. government narrative. Polish president, unlikely missile was intentional attack. Oh, okay. So we have to calm everyone down so as to not have a NATO response by people that say, hey, we're being attacked. We're a NATO country. Russians are throwing missiles at us. We have to fight back. Which, I get it as well. But you know what is very interesting? Russians say the exact same thing. This is what you get from RT News. So RT News, the Russian official media outlet, is talking about something else. They're talking, North Korea sends warning to Japan. Only here on the side you have Ukraine halts Russian oil delivery to Hungary. Because they don't have any electricity. So exactly, Russia. But check this out. They're quoting CNN. So Russia. The Russia propaganda is repeating the propaganda from the West, from CNN, which is NATO aircraft tracks missile that hit Poland. So if NATO says we didn't hit it, we didn't hit it. We don't know where that missile came from, right? Russia had nothing to do with Polish missile incident. Russia unlikely to have been behind Poland missile strike, says Biden. So the Russians this is pathetic. I mean, Russians are embarrassing themselves more and more by the day, but for them to have to pop up good old Biden here, they need to show you Biden saying, Biden, believe Biden. If Biden says we didn't do it, then we didn't do it. Russia unlikely to have been behind Poland missile strike. Really? Joe? Really? It wasn't them? It wasn't them that were blowing up the crap out of the neighboring country across the entire
Russian
country?
capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian officials say at least.
But even before they know a thing about any of this all takes time. You cannot have an immediate knowledge of who did what here. You can only make self assumptions that if you're looking at who could possibly have dropped a missile and killed 2 people, a missile of Russian origin. Did anyone throw a bunch of Russian missiles this same night? Oh yeah, it was Russia who did that. Of course it was them. But of course, there's a good chance that, let's also keep it honest, there's a good chance that was not their intent. Because they're such brute, idiotic orcs that only saturate a country with bombs. One of those targets was on the side of Poland. Russia does not want to start a war with NATO. That is clear as day. That's why they're repeating the same narrative that is coming from NATO themselves, which is, we don't want to start a war with Russia either. So we'll just say it wasn't them. Even though it was them, we'll just say it wasn't them. It was maybe one of these anti-missile batteries that Ukrainians use themselves. Yes, that is safe. That would be a good bet. That is a little bit too close to saying it's a false flag, which is, of course, not true. In the middle of an attack, you're not planning, I'll blow up my greatest ally that's been helping me from day day one. It's my strongest ally in the entire country. I'm going to be dropping a couple missiles on them. No, this was most likely attack that went wrong, and they ended up landing a couple missiles on Poland. And I get it why neither Russia nor the United States nor Europe, no one in NATO wants to, because of a miscalculation of these animals that are already committing mass genocide in a country. We don't want to escalate this beyond the point. We're already kicking their asses with support to Ukrainians, and Ukrainians are doing well themselves. As nice as it would be to see an immediate response from everyone and stop this thug in his track, that would be my desire, to stop these assholes immediately instead of extending something, probably for economic benefit, probably so as to not risk escalating things further. But the way I know you deal with thugs is you stop them right now. And if you don't do that, you'll pay for that later. It's going to be more difficult. Now, it is also true that Ukraine is already, hitting them pretty hard, and they're already losing this war in an impressive manner. So, yeah, I would probably advise to do the same. We don't know where this missile came from. It could have been a Ukrainian missile trying to shoot down a Russian missile. That is, I think it's a little bit too disgustingly cheap and coward. Just say you don't know and leave it at that. Or simply say what I was actually seeing the NATO secretary saying. The guy was saying that was most likely a miscalculation, and it was accidentally hit when they were trying to hit Ukraine, which was, at the end of the day, what really happened. So we don't have to lose track of the value of truth and reality, and not live in this left-wing alternative world in which things are simply what we make up them to be in our own minds. Okay, folks, that's gonna be all for now. See you on our next video. Take care.